Hi everyone. Welcome to the book club. Let's get going with this journey. I was I was so preoccupied before starting this. Okay, let me fix a few things I didn't fix before I came on. That's just going to have to do today. Okay. I just didn't want the light like right in my eye. Welcome to book club. This is What If, a transformational, I'll bring it back in, a transformational guide. Every week we cover one question and we talk about all the possibilities with that question. If you are joining us on YouTube, welcome to YouTube Book Club. If you're joining us on Podbean, welcome to Podbean Book Club. Hey, Crazy Lady and Amy on Podbean. Noelle, Rebecca, and Fawn on um, YouTube. Rebecca is the moderator. She will be guiding and helping through this. The question for this week. Okay, so first, if you want your own copy of the book, you can get it on my author page. The link is in my bio. I know if you do get it, please get it from the bio, my author page. I know a lot of people, or a couple of people, have started selling the book on Amazon. I don't know how that works. I don't know how they can be selling the book. Um, okay, so here we go with this week's question. This week's question is, what if this life is a chance for you to heal the past and future lives? Yours and others. So what if this life, what if we come into this life and it's a chance for you to heal the past and future lives, yours and others? And I have this theory that once we heal our life by almost, I don't know if this is the right word, but almost by proxy, all other lives start to heal. Also, hi McGraw on Podbean. So if this life is the opportunity to heal past lives and future lives, and then in doing so, this life, or healing this life, and then it heals the past and the future, however you want to think about it. What if that's the case? What does that change for you in your life? What do you start doing different? How do you start moving, managing, doing differently? What happens then with that? If that's the case, and what if we specifically came in? What if we specifically came in to heal the past, to which heals the future and heals the present? I hope I said that correctly. It's that's a lot. That's a big statement, right? That's a big bold statement. And then what are the action steps that we would take to do that? So if there's something in our life where we might feel inadequate, we might feel less than, we might feel, let's just say, we're abandonment, or we're hurt, or we don't know why, we don't know where it came from. Maybe it comes from the past, maybe it comes from something else, maybe we do know where it comes from. But what if that is the case? And what if in healing that, whatever it is, wherever it came from, it heals everything in the future? If you guys, Fawn already joined online. Thank you, Fawn. Rebecca's joining on the phone, not online. Thank you, Rebecca. If you want to call in and join in on the call in, go to Podbean, hit the button to call in. And you guys, it says that on, I don't know what happened here on YouTube, but it says the chat disconnected. and they're reconnecting it. So there might be some disconnect with the chat on YouTube. So if you're posting things and it's not showing up, be patient. Post it again on the chat. Okay. Uh, Rebecca Fawn, thank you so much. Amy, crazy lady, if you want to call in, you can call in. Okay, so here is the thing for calling in. Please, if you're not talking, mute your conversation and don't talk over others. I have to work really hard at that, so I think I say that more as a reminder to myself than anyone else. Yes. Okay. So here we go. And you can call in at any point during the show. And this book club is about everybody's opinion, everybody's thoughts, how this changes your perspective, because you might say the thing that helps somebody else change their uh changes their um it changes their perspective and how they can heal. And the biggest thing, one of the biggest things for this book is, if we can change our perspective, if we can change our thoughts, if we can change the way we look at things, we can change our entire life. We can take control of what we thought we had no control of, or what we thought was something so negative maybe that happened to us, and we can now take control, and we can be in a space where we are able to change that into something that actually works to our benefit, helps us, or evolves our soul, which I believe it's all about evolving the soul. So I'm going to repeat the question one more time. And thank you so much, Rebecca, for putting the question in the chat. I'm so grateful for all of Rebecca's help. What if this life is a chance for you to heal the past and future lives, yours and others? Okay, Rebecca and Fawn are both on the line. Whoever wants to go first, go ahead.
I can go first if you don't mind.
Nope, not at all.
Good afternoon. Yeah, what I wanted to tell you is it was just buffering a little bit when you were talking in the beginning, and I think that's possibly what messed up the chat. It's a little delayed right now. I can see it shows you talking, but you're not. So going back to the question, I believe that one of the things that could really help by knowing this is that we would dive into really analyzing the behaviors and the patterns that are going on in our family, and really take a look at everybody from an outside perspective, to just see everything, what's going on, and what we need to work on to heal the ancestry and the karma that is in the family, starting with, like you said, with ourselves, because we have to, obviously we can't help others if we're not healed. And so that's why I'm here, transforming myself, because how can I be one to go out and give a bunch of advice to people if possibly I don't even have the answers myself? So that's what I love about this group. It's really helping us to expand and open up and to think about more of it. And I also believe that it's also important to live in the now every day and be mindful about all your decisions that you're doing. Also, that's how you keep yourself on the right path, because sometimes our minds take us somewhere else. And I'm currently dealing with that with somebody right now, really trying to help them and let them to realize that we are in control. Our soul is in control. Bring your soul back into your body. Ask your soul to guide you and get on the right path. And then look at all the things that are going on in your family and what's going on in the past, and try to let go of those distractions and focus on that. And you can change everything. It starts with you, of course, and it starts with love, loving ourselves first. That's my opinion. Thanks,
Yeah.
Toni.
And you are so welcome, and thank you, Fawn, for sharing that. And I do agree. And when we do look at family and everything with our family, and without judgment, I think we can look at what people do and observe, this is what I like and this is what I don't like, or this is what I would want and this is what I would not want. And that doesn't mean we're judging them. That just can say, that's just not for me. That is not what I want for me. Um, and for whatever reason. So when we look at family or family situations and dynamics and programming, which is so, so, it has such a tight hold on people, that familiar programming, because it's happened pretty much since birth. So if we can look at that and see around it, and the way I tell people to best do that is pretend it's another family and you're seeing these dynamics, because when you're involved and it's your family, all of your emotions step in and all of your programming steps in. But if we say, okay, pretend this is a completely different family and this is happening, or pretend these are strangers and this is happening, people instantly learn to defend themselves or change their reaction or have a different opinion about what's going on and how they would act or react to it. We put up with things from partners and family members that we would, and we do things for partners and family members that we would never, ever, ever put up with from a stranger or even an acquaintance. But because they're a family member or a partner, we take that as an excuse to allow this sort of thing to happen, whatever the situation is. And we have to learn that no matter who the person is, it's not okay, it's not right. And we have to stand. And as a matter of fact, if it is a partner or a loved one or family or a friend, they should treat us better than strangers. They shouldn't be treating us worse than a stranger on the street. But no, but going back to if this life is a chance for us for you to heal the past, whether it be this past, the past of this life or past lives, and the future, and by healing the past we heal the future, then what does that do for you? Rebecca, go ahead, love. Tell us where that takes you, if you can. I know people are working and they can't always come on and talk at any given moment. Um, so if Rebecca can come on, yep, there she is. Hey,
Yes,
Rebecca.
I'm
Hi.
here, just that it keeps cutting off.
Oh,
Good
sorry.
morning.
Hi.
Can you repeat the question? I know the question, but you asked something different. What was the other question? It was cutting off.
The question, I think the way I said it is, if it's even if it's about healing the past of this life, just this life, and that heals our future, what does that mean for you? What do you do next? How do you handle that?
I did write this answer on here when I read the question.
I love that.
And I said to myself, the chances of healing is first myself from my past to be a future person, a better caring, loving person with everyone, especially with my children, and then move from there forward. And you do see life different, because I see life totally different now.
Isn't a yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. For example, the other day I was petting my dog, and it brought me memories of when I was a child, something in the past that was not too pretty for me, kind of traumatic. And I told my kids about it, and I was explaining to them, oh, this is weird. And it brought me to this image, and I remember this. However, I'm not mad about it. I feel like I had to go through that to be where I'm at now. But if I would figure that out before, I would be angry, mad. But now that I'm healing, it's like, okay, I can't be angry about that. I just move forward. It's in the past, and you don't have to be around that person no more.
Right.
So I'm healing on my own. I'm not mad. I'm just healing, and I know what type of person that is, and I don't have to hold a grudge or anything. Just learn from it, move forward. Don't be mad, and for a better future.
Absolutely. And Rebecca, thank you so much for bringing that up, because one of the things I've learned is we're triggered by something that possibly has not healed or we feel may still be a threat. So we can be triggered if that person can still come into our life and repeat it. And that would cause the emotions and the anger, or if we haven't healed from it. So healing, I know everybody it throws that word around like, oh, you need to heal, and half the time we don't even know what exactly what we're healing from, or what is causing this, or how to heal it. And for everybody, it's so completely different. Some people respond very well to, let's just say, hypnosis. Other people will respond very well to acupuncture. Other people will respond very well to talk therapy. And then some people will never want to even try hypnosis or energy healing, but they will go for, let's just say, talk therapy. Once we figure out, or we just on our own can sit with a situation, and we don't, I'm going to just say this, we don't always have to reach out to someone else to heal what has happened. Sometimes we need to, but sometimes if we can just sit with a pen and a paper, or just sit with it and watch it, or understand it in a different way. Now, obviously, for something very, very traumatic, this may not work, but just the kind of in general, not extremely traumatic things, if we can sit and we can watch it play out from all people's perspectives and point of views, then we can start the healing. And one thing I will definitely say, sometimes, not always, there are people that intentionally do things to get a reaction from you or try to hurt you. I get that. And until recently, I did not recognize that. But past relationships, a couple past relationships have shown me that there are people out there that will say things and do things that will intentionally, they're trying to get that reaction. They're trying to hurt you. They're trying to like put you in your place, if you will. But I think sometimes people do things because that's just the only thing they know how to do. They're repeating the program of where they've been and how they are. Yeah, Fawn, definitely narcissists do that on purpose. So ignoring is good. Yes. And sometimes when they do that, when a narcissist will, or somebody who has the dark triad or any personality thing, when they say or do something and you're in shock, even if you're just in shock and can't even respond, that is a response that they really enjoy. It so is. If they can get you to that moment where you are just like, what? Like, huh? Like you have to learn to just like, for hopefully, if you see it and you understand it, you can just walk away from it. But that's not always the case. But you have to get to the point where you're like, oh, that must have been very difficult for you. I'm very proud you were able to express yourself in that way, just like a counselor would. But the best resolve, the best answer is to get as far away from that situation as possible. I don't care who the person is, because if you're dealing with somebody with a personality disorder, I will say that person, even therapists, there's no medication. Therapists will tell you that person, not only will they not, most therapists not work with them, but they will not be able to work with them, because the narcissist will just take everything they've learned through therapy and use it to further their behaviors, if that makes sense. So the best thing to do is to just run from a situation like that. But thank you so much, Rebecca, for that. Who wants to go next? Darlene, no, Noelle. Okay, Noelle, what's going on? Where do you sit with this?
That was very interesting because
Yeah.
when you're with a stranger or somebody that you work with and they're being rude or being terrible, it's easy just to take a step back and just walk away because you know you don't have to, you don't know them, you don't live with them, you don't love them. But then when you and I might answer a question with another question.
Yeah.
When you have somebody that's in your family that's acting that way, the tendency is to want to work through it. So if you're with somebody who's a normal, sane person, working through it once everybody's calmed down in their emotions is probably healthy. But with my sister kind of has a personality disorder, and she's been interesting to everyone loves her in our family. I love her dearly, but I had to take a step away from her for about 7 years because anytime I was around her, she would say and do things that hurt me so badly that I didn't want to get out of bed for about 3 days afterwards. And so I guess I'm kind of answering the question with another question. Is it better just to, even when you have a family member that's, I guess, narcissistic or personality disorder or just somebody who hurts you, is it better just to, stay away from them? And I think we've already kind of touched base on this, that maybe it is better to keep them at arm's distance.
Yeah. And Noelle, thank you so much. And this is a question so many people have because we've been programmed and we've been taught and we've been brought up on the fact that if they're family, you don't walk, family helps family, family loves family, you put up with because it's family. If family hurts you in this way or that way, we just keep it quiet and we just, they're your sister or, they're your grandpa. And I'm going to ask you this, Noelle. I'm going to ask you a question. And I'm going to ask you 2 questions. When I'm done asking you the 2 questions, you and everybody else can respond. Okay? 3 questions. If your sister treated your child, if you had a child, if your sister did to your child what she did to you, would you let her around your child? That's question number 1. Question number 2, if a stranger, a complete and total stranger came up to you and said and did the things that your sister says and does to you, would you allow it? And number 3, question number 3 is if you treated her that way, and this is the biggest one, especially with people with personality disorders, if you treated her that way, would she put up with it? Or would she tell you about it, call you on the carpet? But here's my answer. My answer is never allow anyone for any reason to treat you any way that causes harm to any part of you, your mind, your body, your soul. Abuse is abuse. Physical, verbal, emotional, it's abuse. Some of these personality disorders are they're just starting to realize about some of them. So a couple of years ago, we didn't know as much about narcissism. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try not to say too much, but say enough to help you guys with this because, I always talk about my examples and I'm trying not to put too much of people in the spotlight from my life. But because of the format that we're on, there are people in my family dynamic that were extremely abusive, but in different ways. And because I grew up with it, I never recognized it as abuse. Well, the one abuse, the physical abuse, I knew that was abuse. I knew it was wrong. I knew that that was not right and wrong. The straight up physical abuse, everybody knows you don't pound on somebody else. But some of the more like overt and covert behaviors of people, I was not aware, because when you grow up with it and that's the programming, you're not aware. And if that's everything in the household pretty much, you have nothing to compare it to. Like I tell this story every once in a while. When I was growing up for a certain period, um, and someone would come home from work, nobody would talk until that person talked. And sometimes we wouldn't talk for days in the house because we didn't want to trigger anything like physical abuse. So we all just sat silent in the house until that person talked again. And I thought that was normal. I thought all households were like that. And so until you're out and you're in the real world or the outside of your household world, you don't realize, oh, that's not normal. But you learn because of something like that, and because of something like with your sister, you learn to try to accommodate. And Noelle, I want you to pay attention to this. Everybody, I want you to really pay attention to this statement. We often end up in a relationship with the type of person that was the most difficult to love in our childhood. The person that was the most difficult to please, or we had to work the hardest on pleasing, or the person that we had to, if there was an absentee person or an abusive person or somebody with a personality disorder or somebody we were trying to make happy somehow or another, or the person who just didn't accept us and was critical of us, somehow or another, until we heal that, we will end up in that dynamic again. And it's not something we necessarily did wrong. It's something that dynamic was created, and then here we are. So once we can look at that and we can start to heal that, then we can start to be in relationships, not only with partners, but with everybody that are healthier. And once we recognize it and we decide like, okay, this is a no-go, I'm not putting up with it. Whenever anybody else says or does it, we can call them on it right away. In our head, we can go, oh yeah, no, that's this. No more putting up with this. But until that point, we'll kind of giggle it off, we'll laugh it off, we'll accept it and think we can work around it or fix it or heal it in another person. Hey James, hey Todd, thanks for joining on YouTube. So one of the things that I would say, Noelle, that's really important, and for everybody on the call, if you guys want to call in, you can join on Podbean and call in via Podbean. And share today's question, which is today's book club. Tomorrow at noon, I'm doing question and answer psychic medium stuff. Today's question is, what if this life is a chance for you to heal the past and future, to heal the past and future lives, yours and others? So that's the question of the day for those of you who are new, joining us new. So one of the things I would say, Noelle, is in partners that you've had, have you noticed that they've had some of those personality disorders as your sister? Have you noticed that?
Yes. I mean, with the relationship that I've been in for the last 7 years, and you know all about it.
Yeah.
The thing that was interesting about my sister, after not talking to her for 7 years, she and I did talk, and I told her how much I loved her, but I just couldn't continue with that type of behavior anymore. And she bended, she changed, and she grew herself.
Good.
So she doesn't like politics. I understand everybody has their opinion about politics, but it doesn't need to be talked about at the dinner table when you should be enjoying each other as a family. And that was one of the things that she doesn't do anymore. And so she did grow, and I know too that when she starts acting or saying or doing something that is not healthy for me, that I can leave. Yeah. So I haven't had to do that because I can tell that she's aware. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing where somebody else grows as well. We both grew. The relationship that I'm in, which is kind of funny because we just spent some time this morning, and she just went off on me. She was accusing me of some stuff that I didn't like. So I said, you know what? We'll talk another day. And I got my car and I went home.
I love that for you. Now, so let me ask you something. And again, if that was a stranger or somebody else, how would you have handled that, Noelle? And where would you draw the, because here's the thing, for everybody watching, everybody listening, here's the thing. Where's your line, and how often does it get crossed? And do you know it's okay to have a line?
It's absolutely, it's a line, it's a boundary. So the way that, and I've had to put up with this person we've been together for a long time, but and we're not living together, so it's a lot easier for me when this person crosses the line to leave. But my line has gotten very firm over the last year or two, and you've helped me with that, Toni. So what happened today, I treated it the same way I would have treated it with a stranger that wasn't treating me well. I was like, no, and I said, I just walked away, and I got my car and I left.
I love that. And that's progress. That's progress. That's progress. Because one of the things with some people is that they do have a need to have you fight for it. They'll say something and they want you to defend themselves. They want you to fight for whatever it is. They want you to be in it with them. They want you to be arguing with them or defending yourself or whatever it is. And when we're with someone who's supposed to care about us or love us, I don't feel like that should be the case. Now, everybody's different, and we do this, but Noelle, can you see where that goes back to possibly a childhood situation, where this could have started with a childhood situation?
Yes, 100%. And I think it's my kind of giving, loving nature that I've not understood that I need to have boundaries for myself that are healthy. Yes, with my sister, but my sister's almost 10 years older than me. So when I was little, she was almost out of the house and on her own. So, even when I had experiences of her when I was really young, I don't think it really shaped me as a person. I think that the problems that I've had, I've brought from a previous life. And I think we talked about that.
Okay. Before, let's do this for everybody listening, everybody watching. I want you to think of, and I don't want it to be pinpointed. I don't want it to be like one teeny weeny pinpointed thing. I want you to think of a big theme in your life. Either I'm going to give a few examples, and I do know some of you on here, so I'm going to give examples that I hope are relevant. I want you to think of like a theme of dealing with difficult people or people with personality disorders, and through your it's been going on through your entire life, or having a feeling of heaviness or sadness or homelessness or safety and security. Think of one theme, one really big theme that you would like to heal from. And please don't make it really specific, like I just want to heal from this person, because it's not just that person. I'll bet if you look at it, it's been many people throughout your life that might, and sometimes let me apologize, because sometimes maybe one person did just pop in and do something that was very shocking and traumatic. And if that's the case, that's okay. But, and I'm going to start a healing on that. I'm going to start, I'm going to call in your angels to come to you. And you can come back and listen to this over and over and over again, and pick a different thing every single time. Because I just want to say before I do this, I want everybody to be healthy and happy and loved and love themselves. I know that is the key to the shift for you and this plane, is if we are healed. So think of this thing, and I'm going to ask your angels. Your angels are with you. I don't have to call them in, but I'm also going to call in extra healing angels. I'm going to ask any extra, if you need extra healing angels to come in, and you can hear it in my voice. Oh my gosh. I'm going to try to talk through all of this, but it's like something is sucking the air right out of me right now to pull this from you, your lineage, your past, your ancestral DNA, every ounce of this. I'm going to ask that it goes all the way to the root, to the very root of where this started. Go to the very root, the very first, what started this, where it started, why it started, whether it's this incarnation, past incarnation, even a future, wherever this comes from. If it's a coexisting, if it came from another person or yourself, oh, I just felt something really big lift. If you guys did, let me know. Oh, geez, Louise, get past the peas. And we're going to pull all of it. And we're going to pull all of it from you. We're going to pull everything. So round 2 is coming in. Okay, pulling it. And this could be, if you come back and listen to this again, it's at about the 35-minute mark of the show. And it can be for worry, stress, work, whatever it is, success, having that, what they call the glass ceiling, never being able to get ahead, or having fear, having just that huge fear that incapacitates you. Let's pull all of it, pulling it all out. And then once we get it pulled, I'm waiting for this second round to lift. I just keep hearing, oh my God, I want to cry. I'm so happy for all of us. I just keep hearing shifting, and I know what that means. I hope you guys know what that means. That means like we're literally shifting right now. And for some of you, this could be mental illness. It could be confusion, illusion. Oh, it could be a number of things, but we're just going to keep pulling it. Okay, I feel it lifting now. It's almost gone. And then now the biggest thing, once this is lifted, we're going to detach this in all ways. And then we're going to do something a little bit different that we haven't done. I want you to like close your eyes, and I want you to imagine just, for this particular thing, any agreements or contracts, and see them as expired. And I want you to shred them or burn them, shred, burn them, whatever you are comfortable doing with them. And then I want you to allow them to completely dissolve or go into shredding, and know that it's done. And I want you to really, I want you to see this like in a big burlap bag or bundle or whatever it is. And then I want you to just imagine, and it's okay if you don't visualize very well. I want you to imagine that any part of this that is still connected to you is being cut, or like Archangel Michael is slicing any cords, connections, streams to you. And as soon as that's done, other angels are going to come in, and anything that is still connected to you is going to be released from you. It's going to be released from you, and it's going to be pulled. And as it's being pulled, you may feel like your shoulders can finally drop, all that stress and tension that's been going with you. And then you are going to absolutely feel like you can finally be free from this. And then you're going to see or feel or just know that that is going. It's just done. It's gone. It's over. And you can notice it going further and further and further, like into the sun. And when this is gone, when it's completely gone and you can no longer see it, feel it, sense it, you can know this is gone for now and forever. It won't come back. And it will never be able to bother you again. Okay. So that is something, you guys, that will be very, oh, Rebecca, thank you. Yeah, you guys, and please, hey, Elizabeth, please use this for, go through things one at a time in your life. And you can actually, like, because you're doing it for your lineage or your DNA or your ancestral, you're doing this not only for your mother and father and siblings, but for your children and your pets and past and present. And you can think of them when you do this and watch it um, clear from them also. Okay. So just know that you can use it for yourself and for others and have this all the time and be in a space that allows you to completely be free of this. Okay. So that is that. Okay. Now, to me, I'm going to say, like, I even felt things going. Rebecca says she felt it in her head and her jaw when it was going. John had, you are so welcome, you guys. Does anybody want to share anything from that clearing that we just experienced? You're welcome, Noelle. Okay. So I'm gonna go over the question. What would your next action step be if you can heal? And I'm gonna put a little extra on this question. If healing is the key, what's your action step? What do you do next? Who do you protect yourself from if healing is the key? So first, let's say if it's somebody from the past who's no longer in your life, here's a healing you can use to heal, clear, release all of it. But if there are people that are still in your life that are not loving, respectful, and good, just good to you, what's your next action step for that? And I know the people on here are very loving and caring, and we want to give everybody that chance. We want to think, well, if I can just say it this way, or if I could just get them to understand, or if I could whatever, um they'll come around and they'll change. But sometimes the way a person heals is or realizes their behaviors are not acceptable is by you not allowing them to be around you. And sometimes that doesn't even work. When we look at certain people, for example, from our past, we can see that no matter how many people left them, no matter how many, it didn't change the way they were. It didn't change the way they behaved. They just moved on to the next person. And that's typically a person with a personality disorder. Not always, but it's a person that is not self-aware, does not want to be self-aware, cannot be self-aware. And it might be, and let me go this far, it might be detrimental to them to be self-aware at this point if they have to sit down and look at all the poop they piled out to people. That might be detrimental to some people, right? But now, however, if you think you can, yeah, thank you, Todd. Thank you, Fawn. If you feel like if I stay and I can fix this person and it hasn't happened yet, what's going to change? What can you do that's different or try that's different that hasn't already happened? And I'm going to go one step further, and please don't be offended, anybody. Please, 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 please don't be offended by this. Maybe it's not them you have to change. Maybe it's you that you have to change. There's a certain amount of, and I'm saying this from my personal experience, there's a certain amount of healing I had to do to realize that I could not, or maybe I was not even supposed to change or heal the people I was trying to heal or change. That maybe that is just the way they're supposed to be. And, or even more so, maybe that's just the way they want to be. That gets them what they want, how they want, when they want it. And no matter what I did, no matter how many healings, no matter how many blessings, no matter how many prayers, they were not changing. Because all that did was get in the way of the way they live their life. So what I had to do was heal. Why am I trying to change somebody into who I want them to be? Why am I trying to change somebody to be this type of person when they're that type of person? Why don't I accept this is who they are and either understand this is what I'm going to put up with for the rest of my life, or I'm going to jump my booty out. I'm just going to jump my booty right up out of here, right up out of here, and figure out this. And then if somebody else comes in, allow them to come in and be more discerning and have stronger. And the word boundaries has been used so much that people now, our boundaries have just been rode over like a dirt road with dirt bikes, right? they're gone now. So I do this now. These are the rules for my life. These are absolutely the rules of my life. I'm going to read Todd. Todd is on YouTube, and I'm going to read Todd's comment. Todd says, I put my wife through hell, but I'm in the healing process right now and working on myself because of you. Oh my God. Thank you, Toni. Todd, thank you. So Todd, can we question you? Can the women of the group question you? Because you're being self-aware, you're being transparent. Can we question you? Was there anything your wife could have said or done? And did she say everything and anything during that process to try to get you to see what you were doing? And even more importantly, part two of that question, when you were putting her through hell, Were you aware you were putting her through hell? Is that, I mean, we all want to know. We want to know because these are questions that linger with us. Maybe they didn't know. Maybe they're not aware. Todd says yes. Yes. And we think, like, as empathic, loving people, we think they just don't know. If they knew, they would change. If I can explain it in a certain way, they will understand. And I just want to say, and I will say this, the last person, the last woman, the last man they were with tried to explain it. Many times she did. Yeah, yeah. And it has to be something in the person that is ready to change. And that may never come while we are with them. That may never come from us. And it may never be something that we, even if down the line they decide to change or do something differently down the line, we may never experience it. I will say some people are in a phase of their life that is that phase of their life, and you may not even know they're in the phase of their life. And I'm gonna say this: there was someone I was um, dating, and this person gave me plenty of statements to let that I should have been like such blatant clues to me, but I benefit of the doubt, right? Benefit, no, 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 that can't be. Like always giving the benefit of the doubt, always trying to be that understanding person, always trying to be that good person. That if I would have just been on my biatch time, I would have been like, get out of here. What do you get out of here? But I was on that spiritual time of being understanding and being kind and being loving. And I should have pulled my other twin out because my other twin would have dragged that person through the room like 10 times and knocked them upside the head, right? But I was in my, oh, let me try to heal you. And sometimes we have to pull our twin out, whether we're a Gemini or not. We have to pull that twin out and go, bye. Boy, bye. Girl, bye. Just bye. Go. Um, and sometimes, as difficult as it is, the healing starts with us. Why are we trying to fix a difficult person to us? That person has a perfect partner. And I hope that person finds that perfect partner that is just like them. I think if you're wishing somebody finds somebody just like them, you're wishing something good on them. Are you guys buying that? I hope you find somebody who lies and cheats and manipulates and uses you. I just want you to be with somebody just like you. That's the love I'm sending you. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Is that wrong? It sure does. Am I wrong? Oh, oh, but even if, okay, let me stop now. Okay, you guys, but no, but here's the thing. Sometimes we can't always look at the other person and say, why are you doing this? We have to look at ourselves and say, why am I putting up with this? And it does go back to, for some people, it goes back to childhood because you saw a parent put up with it, or you put up with it as a child, or you experienced, something in a first relationship or whatever it was. Um, and that that is what needs to heal. That is what needs to heal. Okay. That's the part that needs to heal. It's not something in them. It's something in us, so that number one, we can heal whatever caused this, and number two, we can move forward with people that are not like that. So I want to do a healing now, you guys. I want to do another healing, and I want this healing to be, if you always attract a certain type of person in your life, or as a child you had certain personality types in your life. So there's a theory, it's just a theory, that we either become a parent and or marry a parent or a difficult person. So we either become the challenging parent or we marry the challenging parent. We become the submissive parent or we marry the submissive parent. We become the critical person or we marry the critical person, or exchange a word marry for have that type of relationship with those types of people, and can be friendship, partner, whatever it is. So let's heal, clear, release, first and foremost, personality disorders. Let's pull all personality disorders. And so Todd says, I attract narcissistic people for some reason. So Todd, can you see someone, was there someone in your family that may have been narcissistic, covert, overt, what it grandiose? Was it, those are three of the titles that I know for narcissism. Can you see, can you understand, can you look and see someone in your immediate family that had those characteristics while you were growing up? Somebody that was a role model or was in your life. Okay, so we're going to heal, clear, release personality and disorders, either people coming to us that have them, or if we have them, we're going to heal, clear, pull, release them. And then the other thing we're going to do, what attracts us? Let's heal, clear, release. What attracts us to unhealthy partners or friends or bosses or whatever it is? Let's heal, clear. And I feel this, you guys, I'm feeling this in my forehead and in my heart a lot. Wherever you guys are feeling this, please feel free, if you're comfortable sharing it, feel free to express it if you're comfortable with that. And I want to tell you, you guys, we all grew up, Todd says his sister, see, Noelle, his sister. We all grew up with parents who grew up with parents. And if we think of our grandparents and our great grandparents and what they lived with and experienced, we will realize the world they came from and what they handed down to their children, and the behaviors and the habits and the survival is crazy. It's just crazy, the survival. And while we're here, let's just do one on survival. I say all the time, we're surviving. Everybody is surviving their past. And sometimes we're surviving our present. We're surviving what people did or said. We're surviving what we did and said. We're surviving the choices we personally made. You know, I take responsibility of, I chose to be with certain people. I chose to have those relationships. When they went left, I did not choose to go right. I chose to double down and try to make it work. So we blame ourselves, we blame this, we blame that. So let's clear two things. We're going to clear survival, just surviving, trying to, being in survival, and let's heal, clear, release all that we're surviving. I can't remember what the second healing was now that I was just going to do. I know the first one was survival. Um, I can't remember. Well, I'll remember by next Tuesday for sure, you guys, for sure. Hopefully, I'll remember before I. Um, oh, okay. Okay. Does anybody want to add anything? Anybody on the call line want to say anything before we let go for today?
I just want to say thank you, Toni.
You're welcome.
Thank you for all the clearings.
You're welcome. I love it. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for sharing that. Thank you. You guys, thank you. I love you all so much. I'm so grateful that you're joining me on this journey. Um, one thing I want to say that you guys can do, if there is someone like your children, your partners, whatever, again, if you want to, you can think of them with these clearings and healings. You're welcome, Fawn. Um, but I will also say, until a person is ready to change who they are, until they want to be someone different, until they really are able to look at that and start changing, you're welcome, Todd. It may not work for them, and maybe it's not supposed to. You know, I'll just say this. I've been the bad guy in a lot of people's stories. I have. I've been the bad guy in a lot of people's stories. I've been the biatch in a lot of people's stories. Um, we all have two sides to us. And there was a time I was very outspoken, very feisty. I had a lot of fire in me, and I would not hesitate to um, do or say things. And there are still times when I am like that. So I've been the bad guy in a lot of people's stories, but was I supposed to be? I don't know. I don't know. So focus first on you. If there's someone in your life who is problematic, not loving, not caring, just keep asking yourself. And I had to do this. I've had to do this with family, with friends, with partners. Why am I putting up with it? I had a friend who she was a pathological liar. Like, I love this person. We would laugh. We did a lot of things together, but this person was just such a pathological liar to the point where I didn't know anything coming out of their mouth was true or not. And it finally got to the point of, why am I allowing this? Why do I want someone in my life that anytime they talk, I have to question the validity of their statement? I don't. I don't. And then you have to let it go, because you have to get to that point where you question yourself about it, not where you're trying to understand the other person. All understanding starts here within you. And once you understand why you are allowing something in your life, why you are putting up with, allowing, dealing with certain personality types, and it's easy to say, oh, because my mom was not always honest, or because my mom was this, or my dad this, but there's still something in you that is either trying to seek approval, get love, uh whatever it is. You put the word in that fits you the most, the best, the whatever it is. And then from there, that's when the real magic within you starts. I can be here saying a million different things on here, and for those who are seeking and wanting those changes and healings, it will happen, right? And it's not my words. It's not my words. It's something inside of you that is resonating to a new level or resonating to a new understanding, something in you that you started to understand about you. And it's not only from what I'm saying, it's from what all of us are sharing on here. It might be something that Fawn says, or Rebecca, or Noelle, or what Todd puts in here. It's something that a new understanding was formed inside of you. So take that time and have that understanding within you of why. And I think why is one of the most important questions we can ask ourselves about everything. And I will say this, it takes to the third why till we start to get the truth. Because the first why is the like basic generic answer. The second why answer is like if I say, why are you putting up with this? Because I love him. I love her. But why are you putting up with it? Besides that, why? Oh, because I'm trying to help them. Because it's just a phase we're going through. Okay, but no, why? And that's when you run out of your excuses or your generic answers and you start to get to what's going on inside of you. Maybe it's because I don't want to be single. I don't want to start over. I don't want to a lot of people say, but what, I might not meet someone else again. We have billions of people upon this planet. Okay, yeah, you'll meet someone else. Do the work and you'll meet somebody better. Like maybe there's nobody better, or maybe I like the way they move, whatever it is, right? Maybe whatever it is. But if you go even deeper than that, you're trying to not heal them. It looks like healing them. It looks like that. It sounds like that. But there's something inside of you, and we can call it the inner child. We can call it just something inside of us that there's a part of us that needs to win that love, to win that thing. And it wherever it comes from, once we heal that part of us, we're good. We're good. Okay, I'm going to read next week's question, then we're going to sign off. Thank you so much for everything, Rebecca. I'm so grateful. Okay, next week's question. Oh. This is the question that changed my life way before I wrote this book. What if you come back in with these people? What if you, I'm sorry, let me rephrase this. What if you came back in with these people at this time in these circumstances to heal you? To heal you. And again, going to that part inside of you that hasn't quite gotten there yet. Okay, you guys, until next Tuesday, I'll be back tomorrow at noon. I'm doing my Wednesday show at noon tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow at noon with Q&A. I look forward to it. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for taking this journey with us. I just love you guys. Thank you for all the work you're doing on yourself. Until next time.